Hey y'all, I'm Kima. Welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to talk about having kids later on in life. I had I had my first baby at 39. Yeah, I had my first baby at 39, and then I had my second baby um, 16 months after the first one was born at 40. Girl, let's get into these questions. I wrote them down so I wouldn't forget. Did you feel too old when you were pregnant, or did your mindset change? I didn't feel no type of way when I was pregnant with my first baby. I was still working out. I was still carrying on with business as usual. I didn't start to second guess myself until I started going to my actual OBGYN appointment. Backstory: I had a miscarriage before, and so despite my age, I would have been considered high risk anyway because of the previous miscarriage, which I have another video like early on in my channel to tell you about my miscarriage. It was a mess. And so I was fine, carried on about my daily activity as I normally would. Didn't feel no type way until I got into the doctor's office and they labeled me a high risk pregnancy. I was technically I was a geriatric patient, meaning that I was an older patient having a baby or babies, because both pregnancies I felt the same. I was still labeled high risk. I was still labeled a geriatric, and I had to tell them like, hey, whoa there. Y'all can put whatever y'all want to in the chart, really, but not really. But when you talking to me, don't talk to me. Put some respect on my name, bro. Like, I'm gonna carry these children full term. I'm gonna continue to live my life. I'm gonna do what I gotta do to take care of them and myself. Please stop referring to me as a geriatric. You can call me by my name, which is Kima. Yeah, that always works. When nothing else works at all, Kima will always do you good. Like, please, honey. Stop. And I think the amount of stress that actually my doctor's office, not my OB, because I didn't see my OB every time that I went to the doctor. I sometimes saw the nurse practitioner. I sometimes saw the midwife. And I think that was part of the disconnect, because I was not able to see my OB every time I went into the office. Matter of fact, I don't believe my OB delivered either one of my babies. Yeah. So the first one was a induction that was planned, of which I ended up having a C-section because my baby's head was too big. Judge yourself. And then they recommend that if you have a C-section the first time, especially in my case, they wanted me to have a C-section the second time. They didn't want to hear anything about a VBAC. And at that point, I just wanted to do what I knew would be more efficient and safe for both babies. I labored with my first baby for a long time before they decided that, hey, a C-section is what needed to happen, because my baby's vital signs kept going up and down. And I'm like, hey, bro, listen, I was one of those ones. I want to be a thug. I don't want no medication. No. Hey, man, listen, if you're thinking about having a baby or you're pregnant, that natural birth is not for the weak. And I'm talking about I did all the breathing and everything. Girl, when that man came and gave me that in my spine to prepare me for that C-section, glory. Oh, God. Anyway, was your pregnancy considered high risk because of your age? I already answered that question. Yes. What did recovery look like after each birth? So the first C-section, at the time I thought it was bad, but overall I was handling it pretty well. I was able to get up and walk because they want you to walk. I think the recovery time was, in comparison, now that I've had two, excuse me, now that I have something to compare it to, I've had two. That second, I didn't experience anything compared to that first C-section. That second C-section was hell, honey. I felt like my insides was about to fall out. Were they? No. But that's how much pain I was in. And I was breastfeeding, so I did not want I wanted to limit the amount of medication. And yeah, they tell you there's only so much medication that will harm. I didn't want to take any risk at all. And so if I didn't, like, I don't, did I take any pain medication? If I did, it may have been once or twice. And I breastfed both babies for 2 months. Um, that second C-section was a beast. It took me a while to get my life together. Um, Girl, just even thinking about it. And hell, I tried to convince my husband that I want to have a third one. That was indeed, like Maury Povich said, a lie. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No. Especially because I would have to, now at 42, going on 43, I would be a super hot. Nope, I'm not about to play that game. Nope. Nope. And actually, 2 is more than enough, honey, because these children. Oh, child. Next question. What mindset shift helped you the most as an older mom? I would say in my 20s, honey, in my early 30s, honey, I was living my whole best life. This is before I got married, before I even thought about having kids, because the thought of kids did not cross my mind at all. Yeah, as kids growing up, we say, oh, I want to have the husband, the dog, the 2 kids, the partridge in the pear tree, all that stuff. But in reality, like, I was out here living my whole best life, living in the metropolitan Atlanta area, living my whole best life, traveling like I want to, going like I want to, nobody asking me any questions. Me and my husband got married during COVID, and so it was an interesting transition, seeing as though we got married in the middle of a pandemic and trying to navigate that. Then I had a miscarriage, all these different things. It was not the most desirable situation, and so I think that because of the delay in me, let's get my words together. I think the delay to have kids was very beneficial for me, because it allowed me to accomplish a lot of things. And I'm not going to say I wouldn't have accomplished those same things had I had children earlier in life, but I feel like I was more mature and in a better place to actually take care of these kids. My kids, not just these kids, my babies. Yeah. And so I was transitioning from that independent woman to now a wife, and then that mom. And I feel like the experiences that I encountered early on actually prepared me for that moment. Like, hey, I'm using I statements, but me and my husband are now responsible for keeping 2 little humans alive. And honey, there's no SOP. Ooh, child. Somebody need to write a handbook. And I understand that no 2 children are the same, but at least give me like a cheat code or Cliff Notes or like the study guide or something, like, and still figuring it out to this day. And they are 2 and 3. Ooh, Anyway, how has having kids later in life impacted your marriage? Early on, I will say that it was rough, and it's an ongoing process. Because me and my husband got married later on in life, I will say that the 2 of us were set in our ways, essentially. We were 2 independent people living our whole best lives, had our day-to-day schedules on what we were going to be doing this time, this day. Now, the whole game has changed. And so trying to navigate and compromise to make sure that both parties are taken care of in the marriage and individually, because hell, if you ain't got yourself together individually, there's nothing that you can do for another person. And I will say it's an ongoing process. My babies are moving around. I will say that both of us are stubborn. Both of us, we bump heads, that type thing. And I think, but we are different in the fact that hold on one second. If you don't want it, throw it out. Now lay down and go to sleep, please. Thank you. I love you. Anyway, I think that we balance each other out. And we're alike, but we're different. I'm the softer version, but it just works. It just works. But it's an ongoing process especially with trying to merge and mesh two, not only two adults, but two adults that are now responsible for themselves as well as two babies. For sure. For sure. What would you tell someone considering having babies later in life? Man, do what works for you and don't listen to nobody. Don't if it works for you, then do it. If it doesn't, then don't. Don't listen to nobody telling you, "Oh, you should do this and you should accomplish this by that age and you should be doing this by that." No. Do whatever works for you. If you want to adopt, do that. You want to do IVF, do that. You want to get married, do that. You want to do whatever you want to do, do it. Don't listen to nobody. And I heard the comments of why did you wait so late to have kids? You should have did X, Y, and Z. And my response is always simply this: well, I didn't because I didn't want to. And when I did it, it was on my time. And if it was meant to be, it was gonna be meant to be. And my dad used to always laugh, like, "Kimmy, you just say anything." No, because people just have so much audacity. Just roll up on you with so much audacity in reference to what they think you should be doing or what they think you should accomplish by what age. Girl, go on. Man, if you don't go on about your business and leave me alone, what's wrong with you? Stop. I wish people would stop. And I'm guilty of this as well, my younger self, in reference to asking questions that are really intrusive and just not knowing what is going on behind closed doors. And if you're watching this and I know you're in real life, honey, I apologize because listen, no fun. That ain't no fun. Stop bothering people. Leave people alone. Let people do stuff when they want to do it. And if you want to have a baby, the moral of the story is, if you want to have a baby later on in life, honey, do whatever you want to do. And stop. Don't listen to nobody. Do whatever you want to do. Oh my gosh. Okay, I think this is gonna be my last question. Would you do it again if you had the choice? I absolutely would. I wouldn't change nothing about the situation. Nothing. Excuse me. I would not change anything about how or when my babies were born, how they were born, anything. Because at the end of the day, God gave me two of my greatest gifts, and I wouldn't change anything about it. Mm-mm. Hey, if you are, and I don't mean to be all motivational, child, the bottom line is do whatever you want to do. If you want to have babies when you 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, that's on you. You do whatever you want to do. Don't listen to nobody who is not of a sound mind and a person that you don't trust. And hell, some of the people that you trust, don't listen to them either, because sometimes they will try to talk you out of what it is that you truly want to do. Anyway, if you became a parent later on in life, or if you are considering having babies and you are living your life later on, outside of your 20s and early 30s, drop some comments down below about what that experience has been like. And if you are considering this and you don't have kids yet, or you're thinking about it, and I didn't answer the question and you want to hear my 2 cents, honey, drop the question down below. Anyway, I'll talk with y'all later. Bye, y'all.